Hey everybody, this is Minion Soldier, and this is the Piracy Show, and here I am over Daymar with my Pirate Edition Caterpillar. Now you notice there have been some graphical changes to the Pirate Edition Caterpillar, most notably the scratches along the side of the hull denoting, I guess, the kills or takedowns that the ship has been engaged in are missing, and I think that this is just an amalgamation of this and the Convolex version of the Caterpillar and not indicative of a permanent change, since that actually looked kind of cool on the Pirate Edition Caterpillar. But overall, 3.0, my exploration continues. We did get a decent sized patch today and a launcher update, but where it did seem to give us a little bit added stability overall, interactable objects, doors, boarding, and getting out of ships, especially in Zero G, doesn't seem to have improved. And the landing of large ships like the Caterpillar on difficult surfaces continues to be something of an issue, not just in visibility, but in the stability of the ship. Once it's put down on a fairly flat surface, it tends to teeter-totter back and forth even when its legs are on the ground. So there remains some issues to be worked out still. Now, also along with this patch, CIG has given us 1 million alpha UEC. Now, before you freak out, that's not permanent money, and this is just to facilitate testing and faster turnaround on ships. Because of all the bugs, you lose a lot of ships in space whenever the game crashes, and the money is just there to facilitate claiming insurance, going out and being able to buy things that as of yet still have no descriptions on them other than their name, and just kind of make it easier to navigate around the economy. And obviously not this, this is not permanent money that we get to keep, though. I wouldn't turn it down, but I also know the backlash that would come if that was the case. But for right now, if you are in and you are testing, it seems that our accounts are running at a starter balance of 1 million UEC. Now, the game did get stable enough for me to complete a few missions without crashing, and so it seems to be incrementally, like we are moving forward, though interactable objects, which is a big part of this next expansion in the game, seem to be a much more difficult problem to tame than people might think. And just going in and trying to retrieve cargo this morning out of my favorite freelancer mission, I ended up at one point with a crate attached to my ass, and so it's very hard to target it and then place it down when it is attached to my ass. Apart from that, getting in and out of ships, once again, especially in Zero G, still a problem. So in terms of overall playability, there seems to be a long way to go. There seems to be a lot of bugs to tame, and especially to do so in a way that's stable to allow people to enjoy it, it seems like there's still a long way to go. But progress is being made. Now, of course, we've recently seen the Consolidated Outland sale day, and part of that, of course, was the ability to buy Lex Luthor's favorite thing. Not flamboyant suits, but rather land. Being able to purchase a plot, either 4x4 kilometers for $50 or 8x8 kilometers for $100. However, we don't know exactly what the limitations are. Can you take this plot and say, pick the top of Mount Everest because no one's there? Can you just go and stick your stake at the top of that mountain, record it, and then you own the peak of Mount Everest? Or anywhere, irregardless of whatever perceived value that land has? Is it just a blanket carte blanche to walk in anywhere, irregardless of resources or the actual value according to the market in that system? Can you just take this and then just plunk it down anywhere? What are the limitations on this? Because there have to be some, but we don't know what they are. So I was a little bit dubious of this sale because I just kind of looked at it and I went, there's a lot of unanswered questions. And I mean, right now, we're kind of in a bit of a delicate spot where we're trying to figure out if all of this stuff actually works together. But now we're already pre-selling the land on these moons and or planets. And so I realize why people are enthusiastic about it. Obviously you want to get out there, you want to stake your claim, you want to buy your digital real estate, but I'm still like, I feel that it's too soon. I think that we got here a little too soon, and we still need to know more about what all of this entails, including perhaps maintenance expenses or land taxes or anything like that. There's a lot we need to know before this kind of comes in, and what limitations are there going to be, because there's going to have to be some limitations on this. And I just feel that in a weird way, not because I'm not enthusiastic, like if I was just a regular player and I was just looking to make a transportation hub or something like that, I can understand the draw, and I can understand the drive to just say, okay, boom, now this is taken care of, and now I just got to go find my spot, and I'm going to be spending my time going out scanning, and I'm going to find some place real good, and I'm just going to drop my flag there and it's mine. I understand the drive for that, the push for that, but at the same time, it's really difficult to kind of conjure up and think about how all the different ways that this could go. I mean, this is really like kind of throwing a random element into the room, and I feel like the game needs a little bit more seasoning and a lot more time to kind of get things kind of fleshed out and actually working before we're selling, plots of land. I don't know. I maybe that's just me and my cautious nature, but I feel that it's a little too soon for this. I don't know. I was a little bit shocked when I saw that, because when people had been kind of bouncing back and forth rumors that this was going to happen, and it had been going on for a few days prior to the sale, I was kind of like, I don't think they're going to do that. That's a little scary, because you don't exactly know how that system's going to turn out, and we don't know if all these working, moving pieces are gonna work together yet. I mean, we kind of have a general idea. I mean, we've all seen the demos, but now we've seen the real thing kind of brought to life and fleshed out, and seen that it doesn't work quite that smoothly, and there still are a lot of bugs to be ironed out. So already pre-selling the land in these systems, I don't know, it seems a little sketchy and a little bit worrisome, at least in my eyes. One thing to note when they were talking about it in the presentation is they were talking about, well, when you claim land in UEE space, then your land is somewhat protected by the UEE, but it seems like the extent of that aegis provided by that UEE being under the UEE umbrella seems to be that someone who attacks your property is going to get a criminal standing. And so that was a little bit, I think that was another thing to kind of take note of, because you get criminal standing. Well, what if you're already a criminal, right? Oddly enough, in the very same episode, they start talking about this ship here, the Aegis Eclipse, and wouldn't that be the perfect tool to sneak up and bomb someone's base if you were like a criminal, or you weren't overly worried about criminal standing? I mean, wouldn't that be kind of like the perfect weapon to kind of slip in and deliver a devastating blow to somebody's infrastructure? There's a lot of unanswered questions around this, and with something like this just on the horizon, I kind of feel like, for me personally, I kind of want to wait and see how all these things shake out before I go and say, ooh, I got to get myself some land. I know good old Lex Luthor would approve of that plan, but I'm a little bit more reticent about that. So, yeah, I think I'm going to kind of step back from anything like that and just wait to see how it all plays out. Overall, though, things seem to be progressing, slowly chipping away at the problems that the PU is causing. But there is one problem, once again, the boarding of ships in 0G. This seems to be a particular problem that has existed in the 2.6 series of patches. It now exists in 3.0. But there's one thing that, I don't know, someone from CIG happens to watch this video. One thing that you might want to check out is in the original Cutlass that we had back in 2.6.3 and before, with the side door up by the cockpit, you used to be able to kind of fly up to it when it was open, and you would just get an interaction menu that says enter ship, and then it would put you through whatever contrived animation, and then you would be on the ship in a stable fashion. Maybe that's what we can do with a lot of these ships here, is once you kind of get to a position that is acceptable, you know, right up next to a door that's already open or whatnot, then you can just have an interaction menu that pops up and you just hit the F key and you enter the ship, and that would save the whole collision thing, the getting bumped around thing, and it would just make it a lot smoother and a lot simpler to kind of get in and out of ships in 0G, just a thought. But anyways, that's the show for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.